PARN, Peterborough.
Good afternoon, you've reached PARN. This is Peg. How can I help you?
Peg, this is Gary Thompson calling. How you?
Sorry, your name?
Gary Thompson?
Barry Johnson? Yeah.
Gary, G-A-R-Y.
Hi, Gary.
How you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Always good, ma'am.
That's good.
I just noticed up on Peterborough Drug Strategy, they posted up a little thing about poisoning, which
Drug
is,
poisoning.
yeah, well, poisoning, any poisoning, drug overdose poisoning, you treat it all the same. It's a respiratory emergency.
Yes.
Yeah, and then right underneath their story on their Facebook, it's got a thing from PARN on it, and it says chest compressions. Right there, pictures.
You know what, Gary? I'm the office administrator. I can't actually give you too much information about this. This is very specific.
No, it's very broad-based, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Respiratory emergency, right?
If you want to talk to someone about that,
Yeah.
I'm probably not your best bet.
Okay, I was at the conference last year in July.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I got kicked out of town by your inspector. What's it, John Lyons? I had to talk with him. He's a police officer. He's got his first aid and knows what you guys are teaching is wrong. Yeah. And then at the sign-in table at the conference, there was a huge poster, 6 by 3 feet, chest compressions.
Oh, this was at the Market Hall?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
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 I wasn't there, but I heard about that.
Yeah. What's her name? The deputy mayor from Swillen was there.
That's right.
Yeah. I've talked to her. She knows what you guys are doing is wrong. Her EMS, I talked to her. She says, cheapers, Gary. This is taxpayers' dollar going around doing it. I'm showing up to see.
I'm actually really very much about distributing naloxone.
Yeah, but no. What's more important is rescue breathing than the naloxone. You have to give them rescue breathing first to stabilize the patient. Because naloxone can cause a tachycardia, and they've already got tachycardia from oxygen deprivation. You got to stabilize them first. You got to give them rescue breathing. That's why they're blue. They're blue is because their blood chemistry has become toxic. High, low sugar, potassium, calcium.
How can I help you?
Well, I'm just trying to save lives. I'm just trying to save lives and the taxpayer a lot of money. I'll give you my phone number. You can get somebody to call me if you want. How about
can
that?
I give you Carolyn King's, she's the coordinator of the program.
Okay. Carolyn.
I'll transfer you through to
yeah. Hey, in the meantime, yeah. Carolyn King. Yeah, don't drink too much. It's a respiratory emergency. Yeah, alcohol poisoning. Oh, you better. Hattie now completely blew around. Too much fun.
You've reached the voicemail box for Carolyn King, harm reduction coordinator for PARN. My regular office hours are 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Okay,
you
Carolyn.
Leave a message after the tone and I'll reply as soon as possible. If you need immediate assistance, please press 0 and our receptionist.
Yeah, we talked to them.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't reach chat.
Recording.
Carolyn, this is Gary Thompson calling. It's about the naloxone protocols again. I just got published in the New York Times about it. At Gary CPR, Gary CPR, you can see the New York Times article with all the medical references. There's 100 million medical references in the literature, and it's rescue breathing ASAP before the naloxone. Anyway, 647-864-6609, and you have a great day. Bye, Carolyn. No, it doesn't make sense at all. Because that's the worst possible thing you can do is give chest compressions.
Well, most people that are administering
administering it to people that they are close with, people that they care very much about, and so they're willing to take on the risk of contracting COVID in order to provide that rescue breathing. If it was me in that situation, I would also do the same thing, but the official public health recommendation is, at the very least, administer the naloxone, call 911, and do chest compression. Sorry, not in that order. First, call 911. Second, administer naloxone. Third, start chest compression.
Well, up on PARN's posters, they have instructions from the Ministry of Health. Call 911, start chest compressions, give naloxone, continue chest compressions. That's right from your own literature.
Dose of naloxone, it can take 2 or 3 minutes for the naloxone to actually work around your system and take effect. So you do chest compressions for the 2 or 3 minutes after administering the first dose. If they are still not responsive after that 2 or 3 minutes, you hit them with another dose of naloxone and immediately go right back to chest compressions. If the person is showing any signs of breathing, you don't have to do anything except turn them into the recovery position. Okay? The chest compressions, rescue breathing, that is only if the person is not breathing.
Carolyn, have you got any medical background?
No, I'm not a nurse. If you would like to speak to public health about it, they also have naloxone workers there. We are officially trained by public health, and we are mandated to carry out their program according to their specifications. So the information that I'm passing on to you is directly from public health, but I myself am not a nurse or doctor.
Well, can you use some common sense?
Pardon?
Can you use some common sense? Here's the instructions. Here's what they instruct. The person's labored, shallow breathing, comatose, skin's turning blue, making gurgling noises, pinpoint pupils. All those signs prove your heart's beating. You don't even need to check pulse. They need rescue breathing ASAP. Could be any of the hundreds of causes of breathing emergency through illness or injury. I know it at 5 years old. A houseplant knows it must breathe or die. The most important food group is oxygen. You need 15,000 liters of it per day to stay alive. You have to breathe once every 5 seconds.
Absolutely, which is why it's so important to call 911, because the paramedics will come with oxygen to administer that side of things. The naloxone is a very targeted approach to reversing an opioid overdose. So ideally, an overdose response from you would involve all of those things, right? 911, rescue breathing, naloxone, chest compressions.
No chest compressions. If their heart's beating, never chest compressions.
Well,
Heart and Stroke Foundation.
If their heart is beating and they are showing signs of breathing, again, you just need to put them in the recovery position.
No, that's dangerous too. Anybody under oxygenated, every cell, tissue, and organ is dying, especially the brain. That's why you're blue.
Sure. Did you want me to give you the number for Peterborough Public Health?
Oh, I've talked to them. I've talked to them. I've been published. There's 10 million references in the medical literature that says what you're doing is wrong. What the public health in Peterborough is doing is wrong. And you know what? It makes everyone physically and emotionally ill. And your children know what you're doing is wrong. And EMS and police and fire are showing up at calls on a regular basis. Non-drug overdoses and drug overdoses maltreated. It's workplace harassment and bullying. When your boss tells her a nurse's sacred duty is when something is wrong, she is supposed to go right up the ladder and not stop until there is satisfaction.
Well, we're all trying to work to the same goal of keeping people as safe as possible, right? We're all trying to do our part.
Yeah, I know. I was the 20th person to take this training in Toronto when it became available. The executive, this is the training. They pulled out a mannequin, a blue mannequin. She says,
yes, we use the mannequins as well.
Does it have a head on it?
Yes.
That's good. Because the one they gave me was just a mannequin, a torso. She says, now pound 120 times a minute right to the floorboards. That's a nurse. Right to the floorboards. She says to the tune, "Staying Alive." I says, "What's this staying alive?" She hums a few bars. I says, "I don't know no disco. Where's the head? I'll show you what to do." Because first class in nursing school is how to change a bedpan. Second class in nursing school is first aid rescue breathing. Because a nurse is going to see 1,000 respiratory patients before she ever runs into a cardiac arrest situation, and the signs are totally different. Every nurse instinctively knows those instructions are wrong.
Well, as I said, I did not go to nursing school, so I can't speak to the training.
Okay. I know it's nice chatting with you and stuff. Up on my Twitter, at Gary CPR, GaryCPR.
Gary CPR?
Yeah, at Gary CPR. I just got published in the New York Times about it.
Oh, wow, congratulations.
Well, no, I've been published everywhere. I was published in the Resuscitation Guidelines 2015, AHA and ILCO. I've been published all over the place, the British Medical Journal, everywhere. And they're still doing it. And I watch all these nurses make themselves physically and emotionally ill because they know what's going on is wrong. They have to show up. 2013, two emergency department nurses from St. Mike's went to a conference with public health and told them, "Stop teaching chest compressions. We're getting all kinds of people, non-drug overdoses in our ED." That's only the people that made it to the emergency department, not the ones that are right in the morgue. Jeepers. Pound right to the floorboards. A couple of years back, the nurse at public health says, "Gary, we stopped teaching them, telling the public push right to the floorboards." I said, "Well, that's nice."
Yeah, I don't think I would go right to the floorboards.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what they were trained.
That's you're at risk of cracking ribs, right?
Well, you are from anywhere. To give chest compressions is a very drastic measure. There's 100 things that can go wrong when you're giving chest compressions to someone who's dead even. That's how they killed Princess Diana. God, they gave her chest compressions. Her heart was beating for 40 minutes. They punctured her pulmonary artery. She died, massive internal bleeding. They wanted to shut her up because they were afraid she was going to spill the beans. Michael Jackson, same thing. He was given chest compressions on his bed by a doctor, one-handed chest compressions. That doctor lost his license. The doctor that treated...
Yeah, that I don't know anything about.
Oh, Michael Jackson, you just Google it up. It's all up there. Anyway.
Well, PARN is open Monday to Friday, 9:30 to 5, except on Tuesdays we open at 11 or 11:30.
Yeah.
So if you had any more concerns, please
well, I've been there. I've talked to you before. I was at the conference last year at Market Square. I got kicked out.
Oh, we might have met in person then.
That's good. Yeah, because
I was at Peterborough Square doing a naloxone pop-up last year.
Yeah, well, right at the sign-in table at the Market Square, a huge...
that might have been me and somebody else, right?
Yeah, I don't know. There's
there were 2 people there?
Oh, there was lots of people there. The deputy mayor of Swillen was there. I talked to her. Sherry Cenas.
Do you have, sorry to interrupt you, just I have to get going, but do you have the number for Peterborough Public Health if you wanted to express your concerns?
I've talked to them. I got letters from them. I got your police department. They all know it's wrong. Every cop has first aid and knows it's wrong.
That's correct. They all carry naloxone as well.
Yeah, well, they knew what to do before naloxone. Oxygen's... You breathe in 20% oxygen, exhale 16%. That's enough to keep anybody alive.
But not everybody knows how to administer rescue breathing.
Well, it's easy to teach. It's easy to teach. They teach it in Boy Scouts and Girl Guides for your first aid badge.
Yeah, a lot of people do have access to first aid training, but not everybody, and Peterborough Public Health is trying to be cognizant of that, right?
Yeah.
That what's the most accessible information to get out to the public where the most people can use it. And so when we distribute naloxone, we for sure always tell people that if they have formal first aid training to refer to that. But if they have no If they have no background in first aid, then we give them the 5 simple steps as outlined by Peterborough Public Health.
Look, it could happen to you, an injury, illness that puts you comatose. You've got millions of people in this country eagerly going to pound on your beating heart. You're not worried about your own life, and there's going to be a multi-billion-dollar class action suit against the government one day, and you pay for that too. And it's already costing you an untold fortune. There's so many people left with permanent neurologic impairment requiring 24/7 nursing. You got a shortage of ventilators for this COVID? Guess one of the reasons is, people needlessly in ICU, permanent brain damage, waiting for the family members to come and turn off life support. At the legislature, Bill 105, my brother-in-law, emergency physician, was there. Doris Grinspun, CEO of the Registered Nurses Association. They both mentioned cases of people needlessly in ICU on a ventilator. And they said it's rescue breathing, rescue breathing. I talked to the general manager of Adapt Pharma, the manufacturer of naloxone. He says his hands are tied. It's Dr. David Williams, the medical officer of health for the province. I talked to him in person. He's a stone cold killer. He's a medical doctor. You couldn't get into medical school not knowing about respiratory emergencies. You couldn't pass an entrance exam. God, I knew it at 5 years old.
Well, Gary, I do have to end this conversation.
Yeah,
I've got
you do.
things to do before the workday ends, but I appreciate your call and your passion around the subject.
Well, no, I'm trying to save your life as well, man. And you're making...
I appreciate that.
At Gary CPR. Check it out, read up.
Sure. Check it out.
You
I
might...
don't have Twitter, but I'll...
Well, no, you don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need Twitter. You just Google it up.
Okay, I will Google it.
And maybe you might want to share it around, too.
Sure.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yeah, I'll pass it on to my colleagues as well, okay?
Yeah, great talking to you. Lovely. Bye-bye.
Okay, have a lovely evening.
Bye-bye.